Welcome to this edition of Craftastic Virtual Crafting Corner. This is part 1 of a 2-part series on paper quilling. Part 1 is an introduction to quilling, part 2 will be our project. Paper quilling is the art of taking thin strips of colored paper, rolling them into a coil, pinching them to form a shape, and then gluing the shapes together to create your design. These are just a few of the examples I've experimented with. I've purchased an inexpensive quilling kit off Amazon and it has everything you need to get started. This has the quilling board with some pins, and the board has a cork back to pin your designs on. It has a nice sharp pair of scissors, a pair of tweezers, a needle tool, and your slotted quilling tool. It also comes with a nice assortment of pre-cut papers, and these are 3mm. It also came with this nice little needle-nosed glue bottle, minus the glue. I just filled it with white school glue. If you want to try quilling to see if you like it before investing in supplies, I'll show you how to cut your own paper and use a wooden toothpick to roll it. I found the most common size for quilling strips is 3mm, which is roughly 1/8 of an inch. You'll want to carefully measure on each end of your paper. This is just colored printer paper. You don't want to use anything heavy like cardstock. Line up your marks with a straight edge and cut with a nice sharp blade. Now that you have your paper cut, take your toothpick and roll your paper around it. It's helpful to moisten your fingertips if you're having trouble getting it started. It's going to take a little practice to get the hang of it. Now I'm going to show you a few basic quilling shapes. I'm going to use my slotted quilling tool and the pre-cut paper strips. First, we'll start with the tight coil. So get your paper rolled up nice and tight and put just a tiny dot of glue on the end to secure it, and just hold for a second. Next is the loose coil. Roll your paper as before. Pull your coil off the end of the quilling tool and let the paper relax between your fingers. Put a small dot of glue on the end and just hold for a second to secure. Next is the teardrop shape. Roll your loose coil as before. Secure the end with glue and just hold for a second, and then pinch the end to make your teardrop. This is your curved teardrop. Your bent teardrop, this is the marquee. It's shaped like an eye. And your bent marquee, the duck foot, shark fin, this is a crescent, your triangle, your heart, an arrow, square, and this will be your C scroll. Next is an S scroll. And lastly is a V scroll. This is a very small sample of all the different shapes you can make. I hope you've enjoyed your introduction to paper quilling. Join me in part 2 for our project.